If this works. I'd like to call the March 5th, 2026 work session of the Jackson County Board of Education to order. This time I'll turn it over to Dr. Philip Brown for superintendent's comments.
Well, good evening, board. We were just arguing about how many days of school we have left. 46 was the number that was given. So, yes, we got it. I want to remind you, board, our meeting Monday nights for the regular session will be held in the auditorium. We have a number of student recognitions that we're doing that evening. Also, board, I want to remind you about the board retreat on March the 20th here in this room. We'll start at 8 o'clock. We have a number of county commissioners that are joining us, as well as the state DOT is conducting a hearing on the roundabouts at Boone and Highway 332 and Sam Freeman Road and Highway 332. So we'll start with that 8 o'clock DOT hearing and then move from there. We're going to have an opportunity to tour a new school bus as well as tour the new school facility, and then we'll come back here and talk budget for the afternoon. Exciting. Spring break holidays, April 6th to the 10th, they're coming up around the corner. Just want to remind parents, also Board Appreciation Week is upon us. Next week, and then we have the GSBA Summer Conference June 8th through the 10th, 2026. So lots of exciting stuff on the horizon, and excited to be here this evening. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Hardigree.
Well, good evening. Great to see everyone tonight. And we're excited to bring you some pretty exciting news. You hopefully already saw some pictures of it, but we have a few things to bring you tonight, all focused on literacy. First of all, we want to share a little bit about our Georgia Reads Community Award, which was a big celebration when we got to go to the Capitol to receive that on Tuesday. And then we also just want to give you an update on our focus on grade level reading and the rollout of the new ELA standards. But let's start with the exciting news first. So here we are accepting that award, and I passed it down. This is really everybody's award. This is not just a teaching and learning or any particular group. This is a community award, and the qualifications for being considered for this are sustained partnerships within your community for 3 or more years that are advancing literacy outcomes. And that's really, I think, something for all of us to be proud of. So thank you for your support for that work and everybody's. Everybody is kind of nudged and made connections and used their networks to just advance the understanding first of the importance of that, and then to really kind of band together. So I just want us all to be really proud of that. And just to tell you a little bit about what that comes with. So there is a $20,000 grant award that comes with it, but it is really more an award of the accomplishments already and then funding to continue that work than necessarily being like a typical grant. So what we'll be doing with that $20,000 is we'll be continuing to deepen those partnerships and advance the work. So part of that will continue to go to first readers, and so that's something that they were really glad to see that we have continued to advance that. And so about $8,500 of the grant funds will go directly to continuing to invest in the first reader partnership, which, as you know, brings books to children birth to 5 as every month delivered to their mailbox, along with great resources for their families. The other pieces that it really commends is our commitment to increasing pre-K enrollment, which everybody here has been a part of, just really recognizing how valuable that is to get those kids in school so that we can start that foundation early. And so that's a piece of the kind of birth to K. And then one of the other things that we'll be doing is we'll be funding materials for early literacy caregiver workshops. So this is a piece within our strategic plan, but this gives us some funds to buy those supplies and to do some training and really make that a reality. So we've already done some visits to other districts to look at what might be a great model for that. And we've worked some with our school leaders, but that'll be exciting to really make that come to life, because we know how important that is to get those kids in early and to really be working with parents on how they can prepare them for school. And then just continued work on our high quality literacy instruction aligned to the science of reading, and also continuing our summer program. So I think you all know we have a great partnership with our public public libraries, and they partner with us on the First Readers Initiative. They're part of our CAT team and really lead a lot of that work. But they also partner with us to offering a lot of opportunities for our kids in the summer. So our public libraries are also doing caregiver and parent family workshops aligned to literacy and kind of collaborate with us to plan that. And then they also work with our media specialists to make sure that we're really offering great variety to our kids. We have the playlist connection there to get our kids access to books over the summer. And so that's a great partnership as well that was recognized within the grant. So I think I kind of talked about the main pieces and our partners. One other really exciting part of it that we wrote into the grant with our legacy mentoring, we thought, how great would it be if our mentors had just a great basket of books? We all know how much we've connected with our own kids over the time and grandkids over a book. And so we got with our counselors, and Mr. Paler specifically, he's like, oh yeah, I got a great list for you. And so that was one of the pieces that we wrote into the grant and that we'll be really excited to fund. And Lisa Stevens was very excited about being able to kind of incorporate that into the training with mentors and, you know, mostly for our younger kids. Sometimes they have a hard time talking about things, but when it's in a book, that really opens that door and also advances literacy. So some really exciting pieces that we were able to incorporate in that. Questions? Yeah. Well, and before I move on, I also want to tell you, so we had the visit to the Capitol, and that was exciting and fun, but also as part of this, so this is for the Georgia Council of Literacy, and as you may know, Malcolm Mitchell is the Georgia Reads coach. So technology, if you could flip over to the website, I want to show you what our online presence is. I don't know if I can do that, I think. But we are on the Georgia Reads Communities webpage now, and so this is, anybody can see it if you scroll down. So Malcolm Mitchell kind of serves as the face of this, and so he'll be visiting Heroes Elementary next Wednesday and doing a big reading rally with their kids. He's going to be giving them his book called Hey Georgia, and it's a great little hardcover book. And so he'll be throwing the football with them. You know, he's just great at making a super exciting environment. So Miss Holloway and team there are very excited about that visit, and we'll have a really great day, I think, with the kids and Malcolm Mitchell. But then if you'll scroll on down, I'll just show them where so this is just on the website where it recognizes the community winners. And there we are. So. All right, and then we'll turn it over to Jamie Harrison. I do want to thank Jamie and Sherry Beecham worked very hard on this grant. They were the work behind the scenes of pulling all of those pieces together. So while everybody is really deserving of the recognition, they did the hard work of actually writing the application.
So speaking of all that hard work that, you know, Amity mentioned that we, that kind of led to us getting this award, we are not done yet. So we're doing a lot of really great work in our district around literacy and ELA and a lot of those things that we just know have such a big impact. And so I wanted to give you an update about that. One of the things, can you go back one slide? Okay, so first of all, we've had a big focus on grade level reading and just really trying to get focused on having a larger number of our students reading on grade level as early as possible. And, you know, we do have a lot of interventions in place, even as kids get into secondary, but we really don't want that to be a need. We want to focus early on getting kids reading on grade level. And so we've done a lot of things to really ensure that that happens at a district level. And we really just want to commend our schools because they've really just picked up that torch and just really taken it where it needed to go. And so we've provided a lot of support for teachers and leaders, but a couple of things this year that have been big for us in this area is building a culture of reading with our schools. We've had a lot of our schools really lean into doing school level events. So like we've had schools give out tickets to Rock Lobster games for a large number of minutes. We have schools doing One Book, One School, where every kid in the school reads the same book, and they have a lot of activities built around that. We have schools doing March Book Madness and choosing a favorite book for the school. And so there's been just a lot of things that schools have done to really just build a culture of how important it is to be a reader. And that's been really big for us this year. Read Across America Week is this week, and a lot of our schools are doing really exciting things this week with that. And as Dr. Hardigree mentioned, we have the rally next week at Heroes, but a lot of our other schools, even though Malcolm Mitchell's not coming to them, they're still making reading very exciting, and so that's wonderful. And the last thing, we have had a lot of gains in the area of our partnership with First Readers. We've put a kit in every building for any parent who walks in to be able to sign up their child just on the spot from the QR code, and we have information in every school building. So a lot of our pre-K students are getting signed up, or younger children and families that we have in our system. As of right now, from February last year to February this year, we've signed up 72 new students. That is double the number that we had a year ago. So in fact, a little over double. And so if we can double every year, it's only going to take us a little while to get to every child. And so we're very excited about that. One thing I did want to mention too that's very exciting, East Jackson High School Beta is going to sponsor First Readers for their 7th annual Neon Night. They basically sponsor a different kind of charity every year, but they've decided to give all their proceeds this year to First Readers, and they've actually committed that they're going to do that every year from now on with their Neon Night. And so if you are a runner, there are flyers in the back. They are bright pink. They look like this, so you can't miss them, Neon Night. So if you're a runner or you know a runner, get somebody signed up for that. So exciting things. The other thing that we wanted to give you an update on is the new ELA standards implementation. That has been an ongoing, very focused area of work this year. Our design teams at 612 and our action teams at K5 have been really busy building and aligning curriculum maps, units, and making instructional plans and resources around the new standards. And just as the state continues to roll out new things, they've just been very diligent about making sure that that work is perfectly aligned. There are some areas here, and I won't read them all to you, but there are some areas in the new ELA standards that are very new to everyone. And there's a focus on kind of some shifts from our old standards to our new, and so we've provided a lot of support for our teachers with those things that were very unfamiliar. And then lastly, we have a new milestones coming up, and so our teachers have been really diligent about that, and our leaders have been really diligent about making sure that students are prepared. All grade levels, we're now going to have multimodal texts on the milestones, so they will not only read, but they will also listen and view, and so that's new. So our teachers have been preparing our students for that. And then lastly, in 4th, 6th, and 7th grade, students will no longer have a writing task. They will instead be engaging in peer revision. So they will actually get sections of text and they will have to revise it and make it better. And so that is definitely a new focus, and so our teachers have been working hard at making sure kids are ready for that. And so those are just some of the new things that they've had to prepare kids for, but we feel really good about where we are, and there's a lot of work still to do, but our teams are really dedicated. And I just want to give just a huge shout out. Our leaders, our teachers have worked really hard at doing a really hard thing, and they've done a really great job. And so I just really want to applaud them, and I just appreciate you guys, our board, of just supporting us and in that work that, you know, is benefiting all of our students and helping them be prepared. So thank you all very much. Do you have any questions about FIRST or ELA standards or grade level reading? All right, thank you very much.
Well, I think I'm up next. Good evening, everybody. Dr. Brown, board members, it's good to see you tonight, and thank you for allowing me to speak for a few minutes. We just refreshed a new 5-year cycle of E-rate funds, so I have 2 projects I want to discuss with you tonight. The first is our fiber connections. So one of the most critical issues we face in technology is a fiber cut. Fiber is the lifeline to your school. If you lose that main connection out, you lose basically all of your network inside the school. So having worked in smaller districts where we're not growing nearly as much as we are here, it's kind of a new thing for me to deal with constant fiber cuts. And we know the growth's not stopping, and neither is the construction and the digging going along with the construction. So I did a little bit of chronicling how many fiber cuts we've had this year so far. And from August of 25 to February 26, we've had 37 outages. 2 of those are 12-plus hour outages, and 1 is 24-plus hours. So this affected MAP testing at one school, and also affected winter testing at one of our high schools. When this happens, there's not a lot we can do as far as your internal technology. We're basically at the mercy of the vendor to repair it and to even give us any kind of guideline of when they might have a repair. So when we lose network access, we don't just lose internet. We lose things like our desk phones, our teacher computers, and our student Chromebooks. But you also lose other things like your door access, your cameras, and for the schools that have received the new audio enhancement intercoms, you can lose features of those too. So a solution I'd like to propose tonight is adding a diverse path fiber connection to each school. Now, the majority of our fiber throughout Jackson County is in underground conduit, and we do have the option of adding another strand of fiber in existing conduit. However, that doesn't help when the backhoe digs up the entire conduit also. I wish I was, guessing on that, but unfortunately, that has happened this year. We have actually, I can tell you right now, the exact place on Highway 11 to dig to take out 4 schools in one fell swoop. So when I say diverse path, I mean that the connections that we're proposing tonight will leave the school and travel in the actual physical opposite direction of our existing fiber. That is your best option for redundancy and any kind of business continuity. There's always going to be digging, there's always going to be cuts. However, this is a good way to mitigate a lot of that on our side. So, Ryan, if you'll change over to, I've given a picture here. This is South Jackson Elementary, and this is an example of what we're proposing. So if you look at the red path, that is our current fiber that we have going into that location. And you can see there it goes down New Kingsbridge Road. The yellow is the new path that we're proposing. That goes out the other side of New Kingsbridge Road. Now, that's not a perfect solution, but that means if you get cut down here, you're still going to go out that way and maintain your network. We have looked at some other options. We did look at cellular connectivity. We looked at Starlink satellite internet, and we kept coming back to this as our best option moving forward. Again, this would mitigate probably around 90% of the cuts we've seen over the last 3 years. This project is E-rate, so we currently receive an 80% discount on any E-rate project. We pay 20%. This project had 2 responding bidders, and both essentially proposed the same service. The recommendation I have for you tonight is Comcast, and the monthly cost to add these connections to our schools and our board office would be $3,637.20 per month, or an annual cost of $43,636.40. And should we want to add this feature to our new Boone Road location, I've verified with the vendor that pricing will remain the same for those locations when they come online as well. This is a 1-year agreement that has 4 voluntary extensions, and there are no build-out or construction costs for the project. Are there any questions I can answer?
So would this be at each one of the locations?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I think we should go ahead and plan to do that Boone Road because there's a lot of digging and construction.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it's a good idea.
These supply our security cameras, Bill, right?
I'm sorry?
These supply our security cameras is.
Yes. Yes.
Important, and redundancy to keep those on.
Yes, sir. Yeah. It also affects your ability to remotely view your cameras from another location. So when a school's offline, you can't see it from the district office. So. The second option I have for you tonight, or project, is purchase of network equipment. We posted an RFP in October of 2025 to do a equipment refresh. The equipment we're looking to refresh this time around is replacing network switches and access points at several of our locations, Empower, Maysville, West Jackson Middle, East Jackson Middle, East Jackson High. And the equipment that is currently in these schools was originally purchased with a 5-year license, and we are at year 5. So some of these equipment licenses will expire in the middle of a school year, and you don't want that because we don't know what the equipment will do once that license is inactive. This will help us to avoid anything expiring in the middle of a school year. Also, as part of that RFP, Jackson County High received some new equipment last year, and the one remaining piece of equipment that we didn't replace then is their core switch, which was put in when the school was built. So it is at the replacement mark as well, and we ask for that core switch as part of this project also. Part of doing this in stages, it allows us to purchase, not to avoid purchasing everything all at once. A lot of the equipment we have in our schools currently was purchased several years ago, and then it's all kind of coming due at once. And if we can avoid that in the future, the better off we'll be. I think also one thing to point out is that we've kind of weighted this project a little more heavily as far as how many schools we're trying to do at once, and that is so that we can ease up when we open the Boone Road locations and not have quite as much on our plate. And this also will align with the 5-year refresh cycle we have for our other technology. This will put the network equipment for those schools on the same rotation that their other tech equipment is currently on. We did have multiple bidders responding to this project, and they proposed a lot of different equipment. There are 2 lower cost bidders that proposed Juniper equipment. We've never used that here in Jackson County. It's good equipment. I've heard good things. We did some demos of it, and it wasn't really quite what we were looking for. And also, Juniper was recently bought out by another company. So the solution I'm recommending tonight is for Meraki equipment, and that is proposed by One Accord. That's a vendor that we've used before and had really good success with. It's also the same brand of equipment that we're replacing. So we're going back with the same brand, the same management, the same equipment that we're used to. Again, the cost for the district after the 80% discount for this would be $196,794.33. This will be a summer project, of course, given the scope of how much has to get done. And given how crazy the summers can be, we did ask vendors to provide labor costs for removing and hanging the new access points. We will handle all the other equipment installed and configured by internal tech staff. So any questions on that? Okay, thank you.
Well, good evening, Board. I am excited to present to you our hiring HR updates this evening. So Ryan's going to drive my slides for me. But, you know, we've been busy. 'Tis the season. We are reviewing applications and working to fill our vacancies. Right now, we're 57% full. Our vacancies are for classroom teachers are 51, and I kind of broke that down by grade band for you there. Our principals are very active in recruiting and interviewing, and when they have one vacancy in their building, they feel the pressure. I am very pleased at where we are right now. So they are on it, they're working on it, and I know they feel stressed and want to get those vacancies filled, but we are in an awesome position in that people want to come here. And so our applicant pool is strong. And we can be selective, and I have encouraged our supervisors and principals to do just that. Take your time and make sure we get the best of the best. So that's where we are hiring-wise. Tonight, you will get a list of contract renewals. So that is something that you'll look at in executive session, and that's the next slide, Ryan. Our timeline for that is tonight is your approval, and then March 9th, we'll start getting those out to our employees for next year to sign. They'll be due back to us March 20th. The list that you'll see tonight is 881 certified staff, which is a lot. And so that I'm just pleased that we have that many people who have said they want to return, and we're going to get them locked in for next year. And I appreciate your support in that and allowing us to hire early for vacancies, because it is helping us get out there and be ahead of the game. Any questions about hiring or contracts? All right, thank you.
Good evening, Board. How's everybody doing? Good? All right, awesome. So the first thing tonight is kind of our brand, and obviously with the new schools coming, I wanted to talk about that timeline, but first, we could pull up that presentation. You know, I think we've worked really hard on our logos and our brand. So when people see whether it's an East Jackson logo or a Jackson County logo or our district logos, they know it's us, right? And so these are our district logos. You know, the circle purple logo is ours. We use it with the Choose Jackson logo for recruiting. The I Chose Jackson logo. We have signs that we make staff members hold when they come here. And then obviously with our foundation, and then you see the logos that we have in Power. So people see these, they know it's us, right? And same on the East Jackson side. Credit to Renee Chandler. She's really responsible for that East head logo that we see everywhere. And then actually just the other day, we customized it to say EJMS and EJES. So to give them some more opportunities to put on stuff. We've got a new Eagles script logo available. And then you'll see something, the 20-year logo. That's next year is East Jackson High School's 20th year that the school will be open. And so you'll see this logo a lot starting this summer, which is very cool, in different colors, and they can put it in different places. So next year is year 20 in August. That'll be the start of it. So it's exciting. So. Well, again, when people see these logos, they know it's East Jackson, right? And that's what we want. And then when you see on the west side, you see Jackson County. Credit to Brad Hayes, who's come in and since his arrival in 2018 and really cleaned up these logos and given it a distinct look. So when you see these, you know these are our Panther schools, right? Whether it's Gum or Heroes or Legacy, those schools. And then he's even got a new Panther head that was introduced a couple years ago. So when people see these, they know they're us. And so as we roll into the new schools being open, we want to create an identity that people can see it and know it's us. So in fall of 24 to 25, we, of course, evaluated all the options around us and looked at who was around us and the colors and who we might play in logos. And then last spring, you remember we told you that students at West Elementary, Gum Springs and West Middle in grades 3 through 8 got just a list of, hey, here's some color options that could be, and here's some mascot options. And we let them circle them, and we didn't show them anything, just gave them the names. Really let them have a buy-in. And then we created last spring kind of a preliminary logos and branding guide. And then in November, we hired Kurt Tausch, who's a graphic designer, and to finalize our logos. Kurt has done a lot of work with Seckinger and GAC and Central Gwinnett and Providence, done all that stuff. So if you drive down 85 and you see Seckinger's branding, that was done by Kurt. And so Kurt's going to help us take it from what I think is good to really great for the new schools. So excited to work with him. The logos will be complete by football season. The branding guide will be complete. It will not be public, but it'll be complete so we can turn that over to Southern A&E, Carol Daniel, and start incorporating that in the school. And then our goal is January of 27 to release it to the public. And then, of course, by that time, people will know where they're going to school. It's the final semester before we split it. And, maybe a Wednesday night when it's cold, we just drop it on social media and let people have fun. But so, again, our goal, create an identity for these new schools that when people see it, they know it's us. They know it's Jackson County. I think we've done that right now with East and our West Side, and we want to do it again with the new cluster. So any questions on that? No? I haven't been asked this week, but I'll probably be asked later on what the logos are. Actually, I'll take that back. Jeffrey DeGeorge asks me every day in technology. And I told him, Jeffrey, you work in technology, just hack my computer, dude, if you really want to know that bad. It's on the desktop. Kudos to him, though, not going to do it. And so he said he's just going to ask me every day. And then the next thing I have for you tonight is an activities update. I know Mr. Wester usually does this, but he's got a lot on his plate tonight, so I told him I would take over for this, and I hope I'm as good as him. And so a lot going on. East Jackson High School, of course, we just won a state wrestling traditional championship, the first wrestling title in school history for them. Mason Smith won the 126-pound weight class. That was awesome. You saw 3 others finish runner-up, so really a phenomenal job. And, of course, they finished runner-up in state duels as well, but a state championship for the Eagles. Swim and dive, Emma Miller competed in 2 events at state, and she finished 3rd and 5th, and she's only a sophomore, which is really awesome. You saw dance won first in high kick invitational, and then go to the single A through 6A dance competition, by the way. It's not just double A, and against all those schools, and finished 3rd, which is really great for those, being only the 2nd year of competitive dance at the GHSA level. Spring sports are underway, as you know. The track and field's hosting a big one this weekend, the Bob Roller Invitational out at East Jackson. Robotics finished 7th. They're going to move on to an international competition this summer. And then literacy won the Region 8 championship, so they're going to advance. And then band and chorus, you'll see this on every slide. The LGPE competitions are this week and next, depending on band. So you'll see that on every slide, but they're competing. I know that East got superior ratings in theirs earlier this morning. I did get an email from Mr. Bagwell, so kudos to East Jackson for getting some superior ratings during their band performance earlier today. So Jackson County as well. Hadn't gotten that email yet, but that's awesome. So good things happening in our performing arts. And then Jackson County High School, both basketball teams qualified for the state playoffs this year. It's been a long time since both basketball teams qualified for the state playoffs in back-to-back years for basketball. And they did that, and that's a great thing. You got a couple youngsters getting all-region first team, which was great. Wrestling, Mikey Castro won the traditional championship, 120-pound weight class. You had Dalen Maxwell finish runner-up. You had another freshman, Cale Powers, finish in the top 5, which was great. Swim and dive, two-time state champion now with Alyssa Pace. She's won the 1-meter dive championship back-to-back years. She's only a sophomore, so that's really awesome. Swim had a great performance of the boys, finishing 6th in state. The girls finished 17th. Flag football had 2 young ladies named All-State for that division that they play in, and that's keep on the 3rd year we've had those. Of course, we have competitive fishing now at Jackson County High School, which is a GHSA sport, which is awesome. They had some youngsters pull up some big fish in their first competition. Riflery made the state playoffs for the first time ever. And then, of course, your spring sports are going on. And then you see a note about FCCLA have some students advance to the state competition as well. Empower, a lot of FFA stuff. I'm not going to say every bullet point, but a big one, the Ed Tolbert Memorial Livestock Show. Dr. Blackburn won the honorary showman. Kudos to her. But the big one is Emma Patton, is an 11th grader. She won grand champion for her Bee Showman. She finished 5th overall for the breeding heifer, but she was also named the Georgia National Fair Livestock Ambassador. She got a really nice belt buckle down there, so she's an ambassador now for that entire event. And that's like the mecca of livestock every year is the Georgia National Fair. So that's a big honor for her. Really a great thing there. And then some more Empower stuff, some great CDE stuff going on where you see a lot of third in areas and some winners. You got Skills USA got gold in the job skill demonstration. FBLA has 12 kids advancing to state in various categories. And then HOSA has 11 kids advancing to state competitions. So they're getting it done here at Empower as well, which is really exciting. And then middle school, you see a bunch of bullet points there. I think some things to note is boys tennis won their first match for East. Baseball had a walk-off win against Commerce the other night. Track and field hosted a big event the other day. Girls soccer and boys soccer both had shutout wins. By the way, they're playing that on the new field that you guys had built at East Jackson High School, right? Got shutout wins on that, so that field's being utilized, which is awesome. In Legacy Knoll, you see their baseball team earned its first win the other night against Banks County. Girls soccer is off to an undefeated start, which is awesome. And then you see FFA went to the national convention for the first time in school history, that chapter. So that chapter continues to grow at Legacy. And then West Middle, you see they're doing some great things. So obviously both boys and girls tennis teams undefeated. You had a lot of FFA going on as well. So a lot of things. And I do want to note one more thing about Jackson County. This is the second year of lacrosse and varsity, and the girls team is 8-0 heading into area play. They won again last night, so only the second year of varsity competition for lacrosse, and they're undefeated. So very cool. So as you can tell, there's a lot going on. We can stand here for 3 hours and talk just about all the activities our kids are doing. Dr. Brown wants to go home, so I won't do that. So that's it.
Good evening, Dr. Brown and Board. I think we all know that I'm taking best in small doses, and so doing all that and talking about this other stuff would be too much, and so I'm grateful for Ed for taking that activity report and sharing that with you. Let's talk about enrollment for just a moment. We still have lots of kids coming to Jackson County schools, and we're grateful for that. The enrollment count was at 11,506 this last month, and as the housing market, if the mortgage rates come down, we do anticipate that folks will start activity, and we'll see how that plays out. But we've still got lots of kids coming. A lot of our growth this year is being seen at the elementary level. So these are younger ones that'll be with us for for quite a while at this point. So we'll see how that continues. But any questions about enrollment? Okay, very good. The next item I have for you is for your consideration. We do have some very slight revisions to board policy. We are partnering with the Georgia School Board Association to look through all of the policies that we have in place to make sure that our policies are up to date and in line with state board policy and legislative changes that have happened over the years. And so we do have 4 minor revisions to make on some of our policies at this time. As you look through those, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But most of them are really just a few wordings, phrases, or changes. We do have a little bit of a change in the Internet acceptable use policy. That change really is just some additional language involving the social media expectations that the state legislature put on in law just last year. So it's really nothing that we're not already doing, but just some minor tweaks. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. But just want to let you know we'd like you to look over those and ask you to consider approving that on Monday night. Any questions about board policy or enrollment? Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you.
Good evening, Board. It is my pleasure to present our financials tonight. There wasn't a clicker the last time I did this, so do you make it start? Okay, great. So we're starting with the SPLOST report tonight. Our collections in February were $1,234,672, and that is a decrease of $227,000 from the prior month. I think we see that every year. Christmas is a time of spending, so we see more in December and a little bit less moving forward from there. But it is $103,000 more than February last year, and it is above our 12-month average. Our current SPLOST balance is a little over $4 million. And we'll move to the fund balance. Our fund balance at the end of February was $56,299,071, and that is $1 million less than the previous month, but it's $13 million more than the previous year. And I think that's really great as we consider the expenses that are going to be coming forward with the new schools that we're building. We're doing a good job of preparing for that. The last report we'll look at is our financial report. Oh, I might have failed. Yep. Can you put, it's not there? Oh, do you have a copy? Yes. Okay, excellent. Our revenues at the end of February were $128,567,005, and that's 79% of our budgeted revenue collected. Most of that is due to our property tax. We're at 95% collected at this point in the year, which is only 67% of the year. For our expenditures, our totals so far is $104,960,419, which is 64% of what we had budgeted. And I think that attests to people being frugal and making good choices and really thinking about the future and what's coming ahead and being careful with what we choose to spend our money on. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you for your time.
Dr. Brown Board, I appreciate the opportunity to come tonight and speak. Just some updates, monthly projects. Can we pull that up? Are we good to, not to? Okay, excellent. Thank you. So we are very excited to have our board out to our new site on March the 20th. So this is just basically an overview. I know that we'll go in more detail with you on the progress and things that have been going on at that day, but just kind of wanted to show you a quick overview. Next slide, please. This is the Heroes Playfield edition, and we are wrapping that up and excited that the fencing and the stairs and a couple other things that were added to that are complete now. And hopefully, we had March 16th as our goal date, but we're looking at potentially next week releasing that to the students. And very excited for them in the area that they will get to expand their PE curriculum. All right, next slide. We sent out a RFP for request for proposals for construction management services. It was posted on February the 26th. That was to our website and the Georgia procurement site. Proposals will come in and are due on March the 26th, and then we're looking at April timeline to bring that before the board. We have contacted 6 construction management firms, and we hope to have a good response on the bidding process. Any questions? All right, thank you.
The next item in your packet, folks, is a agreement that the county has asked us to enter into with them to help move the roundabouts at Boone Road and 332 into play. And so as part of that process, they're asking us to provide a donation of some of the land that they'll need for easement to allow that roundabout to be constructed. And so as part of that partnership with them, we ask your consideration to allow that easement to be granted. There are two parts of those parcels that they're asking us to provide them with some space so that the roundabout can be completed according to DOT guidelines. And so for your consideration. Any questions about the easement that's been requested by the county?
We have an idea of when that's going to start.
They're planning it. I mean, it's all under planning now. DOT's got to approve some things, and then hopefully they'll get going. But in our communication with the county, we anticipate that'll be started this summer.
Yeah, I spoke to Gina today about the project, and I anticipate that being bid April through May, and hopefully she'll have a recommendation in May so they can start construction this summer.
Yes, sir. And they're telling us that they'll have it done by school start. And that's what we want. Any other questions about that? Thank you.
Okay, there is a need for executive session for personnel action. Do I have a motion to go to executive session?
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, second by Ms. Wheeler. All in favor? Aye. Okay, need a motion to come back from executive session.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Ms. Wheeler, second by Mr. Johnson. All in favor? Aye. Okay, out of executive session, we have contracts for the 26-27 school year. To have a motion to approve the total.
Everybody.
Everybody.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Johnson, second by Ms. Wheeler. All in favor? Aye. Have a motion for Part A of contract approvals. Do I have a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Don, second by Mr. Johnson. All in favor? Aye. One abstention. We have Part B on the addendum. Do you have a motion to approve those contracts? So moved. Moved by Mr. Johnson. Do you have a second? Second by Mr. Clary. All in favor? Aye. Have one abstention, Ms. Wheeler. Are we good? Anything else for the good of the order?
I think we're good.
We are adjourned.